I came home to find my fiancé in our bed with my maid of honor 1 week before our wedding. He looked me up and down and said, "What did you expect? Look at you. Some women are meant to be wives, some are meant to be the before picture." Just slowly closed the door and walked away. Now his phone is ringing non-stop. It's the other groomsmen calling to tell him about the photos I just sent to the entire wedding guest list. The first thing I noticed when I came home was the silence. It was a loud silence, the kind that feels wrong, like a missing instrument in a familiar song. I had come home early from a work trip, hoping to surprise my fiancé, Alex. Our wedding was 1 week away. 1 week. Our apartment, which had been a chaotic whirlwind of wedding preparations for months, was perfectly still. No music playing, no television on, just that heavy humming silence. I put my suitcase down in the hallway, a happy secret smile on my face. He was probably in the bedroom, napping. I kicked off my shoes and tiptoed down the hall, my heart doing a little flutter of excitement. I pushed open our bedroom door, ready to leap onto the bed and wake him up with a kiss. But he was not asleep, and he was not alone. The scene that met my eyes was so perfectly, horribly cliched that for a second, my brain refused to process it. It was like watching a bad movie. There was Alex, my fiancé, the man I had loved for 6 years. And there was Jessica, my maid of honor, my best friend since we were kids. The woman who was supposed to stand beside me at the altar, and they were together in our bed. The bed I had spent a month picking out. Alex was the first to recover. He scrambled for the bedsheet, a look of annoyance quickly replacing the shock. He wasn't ashamed. He was irritated that he had been caught. He looked at me, standing there in my sensible work clothes, my hair probably a mess from the flight. He looked me up and down, a slow, deliberate appraisal, and then he smiled. It was a cruel, condescending smile. "Well," he said, his voice dripping with a casual sort of venom, "this is awkward." He looked over at Jessica, who was now smirking, and then back at me. "What did you expect, Chloe? I mean, really, look at you." He gestured vaguely in my direction. "Some women are meant to be wives, the whole package, and some women are meant to be the before picture." The before picture. He had reduced me, our life together, our entire history, to way before. Jessica, my best friend, just lay there, propped up on one elbow, watching me with a look of detached amusement, like she was watching a mildly interesting television show. There was no remorse in her eyes, there was only victory. Something inside me broke. It wasn't my heart. Not yet. It was something else. The part of me that had always made excuses for him, the part that had always seen the best in people. It just snapped. The world went quiet again. The roaring in my ears stopped. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I didn't throw anything. I just looked at them both, these two people I had trusted, completely tangled together in the ruins of my life. I took in every detail of the scene, and then I slowly, deliberately closed the bedroom door, shutting them in with their betrayal. The soft click of the latch was the loudest sound I had ever heard. I turned around and walked away. I walked down the hallway, picked up my shoes, picked up my suitcase, and walked out the front door of our apartment, without looking back. I was not a grieving fiancé. I was a researcher who had just stumbled upon a devastating, fascinating, new data set. And I was about to analyze the hell out of it. I didn't go to a friend's house. Not yet. I went to a quiet, anonymous hotel near the airport. I needed a clean, neutral space, a place with no memories. I sat on the edge of the perfectly made bed, the one that felt like it was in a different universe from the one I had just left. The shock began to wear off, and the pain hit me like a physical blow, a punch to the gut that left me breathless. I let myself feel it for exactly 1 hour. I cried, I ugly cried. The kind of soul-wrenching sobs that leave you empty and raw. I mourned my 6-year relationship. I mourned my 15-year friendship. I mourned the wedding dress hanging in my closet. I mourned the future I thought I had. And then I stopped. I washed my face with cold water. Looking at my own reflection in the mirror, the before picture, I whispered to myself, was that what I was? The thought didn't make me sad anymore. It made me angry, or cold, clean, analytical anger. Because something about the scene had been wrong. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was their confidence, their utter lack of fear. Alex's casual cruelty. Jessica's smug smirk. It felt like they weren't just having an affair. It felt like they had just closed a successful business deal. It felt like they thought they had won something, and I was just collateral damage. That single suspicion was what saved me. My grief turned into a sharp, focused curiosity. My heartbreak turned into a research project. I took out my laptop. I was a freelance data analyst. I spent my days finding patterns in complex sets of information. I was good at it. I could see the story that numbers told, and I had a sudden, desperate need to see the story of the man I was supposed to marry. For the past year, Alex had been living a life of incredible luxury. He had quit his steady job in finance to start his own private investment fund. He called it Apex Holdings. He had a fancy new office. He drove a leased luxury car, and he was always taking clients out to expensive dinners. He claimed to have a secret, brilliant investment strategy that was generating massive returns. The wedding we were planning was a testament to this supposed success. It was a lavish, ridiculously expensive affair with a guest list of over 200 people. He was paying for all of it, so he claimed. I had been so caught up in wedding planning, my own work, that I had never really looked too closely at his business. I trusted him. I believed in him. Now that trust was a pile of ashes. I still had access to all our shared online accounts. I started with the wedding spreadsheets. I looked at the payments he had made, the deposit for the venue, the payment for the band, the caterer. I checked our joint bank account. And that's when I saw the first anomaly. The payments weren't coming from a business account. They were coming from a personal savings account I didn't recognize. I did some digging. Using the information I managed to get access to the statements for this secret account. What I saw made my blood run cold. The account was being funded by large, regular wire transfers from dozens of different people, and I recognized the names. They were our friends. They were our family. They were people on our wedding guest list. There was Ben, one of Alex's groomsmen. There was my own aunt and uncle. There were our friends from college. They were all investing in Apex Holdings. But there were no corresponding investments being made from the account. No stock purchases. No real estate deals. No business transactions at all. The money would come in from a new investor, and then a chunk of it would go out a few weeks later as a dividend payment to an earlier investor. It wasn't a hedge fund. It wasn't a brilliant investment strategy. It was a Ponzi scheme. He was using money from new investors to pay off the old ones, creating the illusion of incredible returns. And he was skimming a huge amount off the top to fund his lavish lifestyle, his fancy car, and our spectacular wedding. The wedding itself was just a giant advertisement to convince more people that he was successful, to lure more of our friends and family into his scam. Jessica wasn't just his new girlfriend. I found documents showing she was a partner in the shell company, Apex Holdings. They were in this together. This had been their plan all along, to use our wedding. It was their final, massive fundraising round, and then, what? Disappear. My heartbreak was instantly replaced by white-hot, righteous fury. This wasn't just about a broken heart anymore. This was about my aunt and uncle's retirement fund. This was about my friend's life savings. This was about all the people who trusted him, who trusted me, being led to financial slaughter. He hadn't just called me a before picture. He had tried to make me the unwitting face of a massive fraud. My plan formed in that sterile hotel room not as a messy act of revenge, but as a clean, swift act of justice. I wasn't going to expose their affair. That was trivial. I was going to expose their crime, and I was going to use their own arrogance as the weapon. The first call I made was to my true best friend, Megan. I told her everything: the affair, the insult, and the financial crimes. She was silent for a moment, and then she said, "Okay, we're going to burn him to the ground." What's the first step? The first step was to find an ally on the inside. I scrolled through the list of groomsmen. My eyes landed on Ben. He was a good guy, a little naive, and I knew he had invested a significant amount of money with Alex. He deserved to know the truth. I sent him a simple, cryptic text. "Ben, I need to talk to you about Alex. It's urgent, and it's about your investment. Can you meet me?" He agreed immediately, his reply full of concern. We met at a quiet coffee shop the next day. I laid out the evidence I had found. I showed him the bank statements, the flow of money. I watched his face go from confusion to denial, to a deep, simmering anger. "I put my son's entire college fund into that," he said, his voice a low whisper. "He told me it was a sure thing. He told everyone that," I said. "Ben, I need your help. He sent you documents, right? I need to see them. I need to build a complete picture of his lies." Ben didn't hesitate. He went home and emailed me every single document Alex had ever sent him, the fabricated earnings statements, the professional-looking but completely fake prospectus for Apex Holdings. It was the final piece of the puzzle. For the next 3 days I worked like a woman possessed. Megan was my command center, ordering me food, handling logistics, and being my angry alter ego, yelling at the computer screen so I could stay calm and focused. I compiled everything into a single, devastating package. I created a password-protected website. On the homepage, I put a beautiful professional engagement photo of me and Alex. Underneath it, I wrote, "The wedding of Chloe and Alex has been canceled. Please read the following information carefully." Then I created sections. Financial statements showing the real bank records, investor documents showing the fake prospectuses he had sent out, personal expenses detailing how he had spent his clients' money on his own luxury lifestyle, complete with receipts from restaurants and travel agencies. Key players, a photo of him and a photo of Jessica, listing them as the sole partners of Apex Holdings. It was a digital museum of their crimes. The last step was the delivery system. I went through our wedding guest list of 250 people. I created a master email list. I drafted an email. It was calm, professional, and deeply apologetic. Dear friends and family, it is with a heavy heart that I must inform you that my wedding to Alex is cancelled. I came home early from a trip this week to discover a situation that forced me to reevaluate everything I thought I knew about the man I was planning to marry. In doing so, I have uncovered a significant and heartbreaking financial deception that involves many of you. I feel it is my moral duty to share what I have found. Please visit the secure website below for more information. I am so deeply sorry that my trust in him has put your own financial security at risk. I put the link to the website at the bottom. I sat there, my finger hovering over the send button. This was the point of no return. During this time, Alex had been texting me. His messages were a bizarre mix of arrogance and faux concern. I know you're upset, but you need to be an adult about this. We still have to deal with the wedding vendors. Are you telling people about us? My mom said you sounded strange on the phone. Don't make this messy, Chloe. He had no idea what was coming. On Thursday night, exactly 1 week after I had closed that bedroom door, I took a deep breath. I thought about my aunt and uncle. I thought about Ben's son's college fund. I thought about the insult he had thrown at me, trying to reduce me to nothing. And I clicked send. I turned my phone off. I knew it would be chaos, but I didn't want to be a part of it. The revenge was not for me to watch, it was for him to experience. I stayed at Megan's that night. We ordered pizza and watched old movies. At around 10 p.m., Megan's phone started buzzing. It was a mutual friend. She put it on speaker. "Oh my God, have you seen Chloe's email? Is it real? My husband and I have $50,000 with Alex." Megan calmly confirmed it was real and advised her to contact a lawyer immediately. For the next 2 hours, her phone didn't stop. Our entire social circle was imploding in real time. The true satisfaction, however, came from Ben. He was my inside source to Alex's personal hell. He started texting me updates. He's calling me. He's screaming. He's asking how you found out. He has no idea who else knows now. The other groomsmen are calling him. They're all freaking out. One is on his way to Alex's office right now. This is insane. His parents just called me. They saw the email. His dad is a CPA. He's losing his mind. He said Alex is a disgrace. He's calling me again. He's crying, sobbing, asking if I've talked to you. He wants me to tell you to take the website down. He says he'll give everyone their money back. He just doesn't know how. I sat there reading the texts, a quiet, calm feeling washing over me. I had not destroyed him with a fit of jealous rage. I had destroyed him with a well-researched, evidence-based report. I had destroyed him with my own competence. He showed up at Megan's apartment the next morning. He must have guessed I was there. He looked like a ghost, his face pale and puffy from crying, his expensive hair a mess. He was a man who had lost everything in the span of 12 hours. Megan opened the door. "You are not welcome here, Alex," she said, her voice like ice. "I need to see her," he begged, trying to look past her into the apartment. "Chloe, please, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake, all of it." I walked to the door and stood beside Megan. I looked at him, this broken man. There was no trace of the smug, confident fiancé who had dismissed me just a few days ago. "You're not sorry you did it, Alex," I said, my voice steady. "You're just sorry you got caught." "No, I swear, I love you. It was always you. Jessica was a mistake, a stupid fling." "This isn't about Jessica," I said, and his face fell. He was realizing this was so much bigger than that. "This is about my aunt and uncle. It's about Ben's son. It's about dozens of our friends who you looked in the eye and lied to. You didn't just cheat on me, you betrayed every single person who trusted you. He just shook his head, speechless. You told me I was a before picture, I said, my voice quiet but carrying more weight than any scream. You were right, I am. I'm the person I was before you tried to reduce me to a pretty accessory. I'm the person I was before I made myself smaller to make you feel big. And this new life you're about to have, the one with no money, no friends, and a whole lot of legal trouble, that's your after picture. You should smile, it's what you've earned. I closed the door on his sputtering, pathetic pleas. The aftermath was long and messy, but it was a mess I was prepared for. A group of the investors, led by Ben, filed a class action lawsuit. The authorities got involved. Alex and Jessica were both arrested. Their faces were all over the local news. I worked with the lawyers, providing all my research. I became the lead witness in the case against them. In the process, I discovered a passion for forensic accounting. That before-picture woman he had mocked had found her spark again. It wasn't in adventure or art, it was in finding the truth hidden in the numbers. It's been a year. Alex and Jessica both took plea deals. They lost everything. Their shame is a public record. I started my own consulting firm, a financial investigation agency. I help people who have been victims of fraud. My business is thriving. I'm not just a survivor, I'm an advocate. I'm not the before picture or the after picture. For the first time in a long time, I'm just the picture whole, complete, and finally in focus. And I have never felt more like a wife, a partner, and a success. Just not for him.